about forced dispatch. One of my biggest pet peeves in the industry. What forced dispatch is when for some reason you don't want to go or you can't go, the company's telling you you're going to go. They're going to force that load on you. They're saying, like it or lump it, you're going to take it down the road and dump it. That's forced dispatch. Forced dispatch was quite prevalent in the early years of trucking, and one of the reasons the Teamsters came into being in the early 1900s and gained so much traction in the 30s under Hoffa was because they were fighting forced dispatch. With the decline of the Teamsters, forced dispatch now is beginning to come back as these large carriers base their profit margins on volume, so they need to squeeze as much out of the truck as possible. And it's coming back into being a problem for drivers. It's mostly prevalent in company-owned fleets, but it's also becoming a problem with owner-operator fleets. And it's interesting to note here that owner-operators who usually have a contract with their carrier, the contract may say in it that forced dispatch is part of the deal, yet they're still not willing to guarantee the owner-operator a set amount of income from that forced dispatch. I find that a discrepancy right there. Coercion of drivers. How does this coercion tie into forced dispatch? Well, really, that's part of what forced dispatch is or can be. And the FMCSA now, as of January 29th, is saying that it is illegal to coerce drivers to take loads for mechanical reasons. In the hours of service regulations, if the hours of service are going to be a problem in completing the load in the time scheduled, or any other thing that will interfere in the safe operation of a commercial motor vehicle. If the driver is too tired to go, or if he doesn't feel well enough to go. Carriers guilty of coercion are subject to fines of up to $16,000 per incident and subject to the loss of their operating authority. Coercion further limits the company as to taking retaliatory measures against the driver for refusing a load. Anything that affects his mileage, anything that affects his income, anything that affects his job status in any regard. The FMCSA is accepting complaints and proof of coercion by carriers. Now, this is important to note because any transmissions on e-logs between the driver and the carrier can be used as proof of the coercion by the driver. Send the dispatch a message saying, I can't accept this load for whatever reason. And the carrier comes back on the e-log and replies, you've got to take this load. You've got them right there. The responsibility is still on the driver. If he bows to this coercion, accepts the load, and something goes wrong, if there's an issue, don't accept the load because it's your ass on the line if something goes wrong. So to reiterate now, you can refuse the load if there's a mechanical issue with the truck or trailer that puts you in violation, be it delay time through traffic because of the routing, or if for any reason, mentally or physically, you don't feel up to safely completing this load. If the hours of service have taken you out of service at 4 p.m. and put you back in service at 2 a.m., that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to feel rested enough to go. You're good to go when you're feeling rested and safe enough to go. And at that point, if you feel it's not safe for you, you don't have to go. This rule is a big step towards solving a problem that's been prevalent in our industry for years. It's a step in the right direction, and it must certainly have been a problem for the government to pay enough attention that they've addressed this problem and come out with a law. So what's the smart thing to do as a driver here? If for any reason it's going to be unsafe to operate that commercial vehicle, refuse the load. Now, if you have a complaint or proof that you're being coerced into driving when you don't feel it's safe or when you shouldn't, go to the FMCSA website. They've got a form right there where you just type in your complaint and send it off to them. So just when you think that the government's asleep at the wheel and nobody cares about the truck drivers, down comes a ruling like this, and you know they're paying attention.